Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us at 7. I'm Tracey McCain.
I'm Nuclo. You're watching Eyewitness News here on the Wax. We appreciate that. And we have a lot to talk about this morning. We want to start, though, with the weather. So we'll say hello to meteorologist Tyler Hughes for a check on that first alert forecast. Good morning, Tyler.
Good morning. How are you guys this morning?
Feeling great. Got your little checklist there, I see.
We do have a little checklist. It's a nice morning. It's a bit refreshing out, but as you head out the door, you may want to grab that sweatshirt, that jacket. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s, but it is a bright start, so make sure you snag those sunglasses on the way out the door as well. This is what temperatures are looking like right now. We're sitting at 40 in the capital city, still at the freezing mark, 32 degrees in Meriden. I think we may have warmed up just a little bit warmer than that. I'll let you know when this temperature updates. But 38 in Torrington right now, 40 Waterbury, 47 down in New Haven. First alert live radar scanning dry for the most part, but there is a bit of shower activity right now off to our north. I'll zoom in on it for you. Over the Berkshires, just a few isolated showers. Those may creep into the northern part of our state, so don't be surprised if you see a few drips and drops around, Granville, out through the Heartland area. But those should clear up within the next couple of hours. We'll see clouds increasing through the afternoon. High temperatures this afternoon will be in the upper 40s and low 50s, so still relatively mild. And we'll have to contend with that breeze once again today. So we'll see wind gusts along the shoreline this afternoon, gusting anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour. So nothing too bad, but still a bit of a nuisance that you may want to be aware of. So you should be good to go. Maybe you're still looking to get some of that leaf raking in. This afternoon, just an isolated shower. Tomorrow, still breezy but dry. But then we have some rain chances that creep back in for the weekend. That's our next big thing. And I'll step you through that timeline coming up in my full forecast in just a few minutes. Right now, though, we want to say good morning to Taylor Knight with a check of your first alert traffic. Good morning, Taylor.
Good morning, Tyler. We have a first alert to tell you about here on 95 South in Norwalk. DOT is reporting that there is a two-car crash right near exit 14. You could see some delays all the way back at exit 16 there in Norwalk. But for the rest of the state, things are looking pretty good so far this morning. Things are moving smoothly on 84 through Hartford. Route 9 looking pretty good in Middletown. We got smooth traffic on 84 in Waterbury and through the work zone in Meriden. Things are looking good. It's just that crash in Norwalk making your drive times down through Fairfield County a little bit longer. I'm Taylor Knight with your Connecticut Chevy First Alert Traffic Report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers. All right, Taylor, thank you. This morning, the longest federal government shutdown in U.S. history is now over.
President Donald Trump signed a spending bill to reopen the government late last night after it passed the U.S. House, mostly along party lines. Now, the bill funds most federal agencies until the end of January. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers will receive their first paychecks in more than a month.
Full SNAP benefits will be restored to tens of millions of Americans who rely on food assistance benefits now.
All 5 members of the U.S. House from Connecticut voted against the spending plan. Democrats wanted to extend health care tax credits, warning millions of people who rely on the Affordable Care Act will see big jumps in their premiums or lose coverage altogether. Democrats say a promise from Senate Republicans to hold a vote on extending them doesn't go far enough. President Trump says he's willing to work with Democrats on health care and suggested taking the money used for the Affordable Care Act and paying it directly to Americans so they can buy their own insurance.
Well, this morning, the FAA says 6% of flights at the nation's busiest airports will be cut through the rest of this week. That's down from the initial forecast of 10%, and officials say more air traffic controllers are coming to work, allowing them to safely open more airspace. This is a live look at Bradley International Airport as we check in there this morning. Some long lines. So while it's not on the cut list, there could be ripple effects. We've been telling you about this all week. So make sure you check the status of your flight before you head out to the airport. And in just a few hours here at the state capitol, lawmakers are set to talk about major issues impacting your bank account.
And it comes after a really late night there. Your reporter Roger Susanen explains how proposals could protect people's SNAP benefits.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So many lawmakers here in Connecticut were very upset when hundreds of thousands of people in our state lost their SNAP benefits during the government shutdown. So now they have passed a proposal that would fill in the gaps in the event of another emergency. House members worked late into the night at the state capitol, debating and ultimately approving a plan to create a $500 million emergency fund that would help ensure people receive both SNAP and Medicaid benefits during a government shutdown or other crisis. The cash would help keep hundreds of thousands afloat, as nearly 400,000 people in our state, including more than 100,000 children, rely on food stamps. During the early days of the shutdown, they lost those benefits, and local food pantries scrambled to make sure people didn't go hungry. Today, if the Senate approves the bill and the governor signs it, Connecticut will set up an important backstop to protect people from the whims in Washington. And also, late last night, members of the House passed a new affordable housing bill, but the proposal is still controversial. We'll break down both sides more on our website for you, WFSB.com, along with the Channel 3 app. Reporting outside the state capitol, I'm your reporter Roger Suzanne, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, there are several major topics on the agenda for this special session, so let's break down some of them for you. Lawmakers will vote on a measure that bans immigration enforcement agents, or ICE, from wearing masks near courthouses. Lawmakers could also officially approve the sale of Waterbury Hospital to Yukon Health. And as Roger mentioned here, there is a measure they're working on to address the housing shortage and drive costs down. That measure is now in the hands of the state Senate.
An update here this morning. Route 72 in Bristol is back open to traffic. It was closed for hours last night after a man was seriously hurt when he was hit by a car. Police tell us it happened near the intersection of Route 72 and Pine Street just after 7. The pedestrian was flown to the hospital via LifeStar and was last listed in critical condition. We're told the driver stayed on scene and is cooperating with police.
We're also working right now to find out more about what caused a two-car crash that was deadly. You might remember it shut down the Aragoni Bridge in Portland a few hours on Tuesday night. We've learned the driver who was killed is 70 years old. A woman was driving the other car, was taken to the hospital with injuries. No word on her condition this morning.
Well, this morning, a search is on in Meriden for the person caught on camera stealing property from the St. Rose Church. Take a look. Well, police say the suspect ripped out a brass railing. You just saw him there. It's worth $8,000. We're told this happened last Wednesday and, of course, caught on camera. If you have any information, recognize that person, call police.
Well, there are new developments this morning in the case of a man who was paralyzed while in New Haven police custody. 3 officers who've been charged in this case are heading to trial. They turned plea deals down on Wednesday. This case involves Randy Cox, who prosecutors say hit his head in the back of the police van. Officers, they say, then dragged him into a holding cell when he told them he couldn't move. A court hearing is scheduled for next month. 2 other officers involved have already taken plea deals.
An update here this morning. Michelle Troconis is trying to appeal her conviction in the disappearance and death of Jennifer Farber-Dulos. The attorney for Troconis has filed paperwork in an attempt to overturn the conviction, arguing there was not enough evidence to support the jury's guilty verdict. Troconis is currently serving a 14-year prison sentence.
We have an update this morning for you. The owners of the Derby Pizza restaurant, who state officials say were illegally keeping a baby raccoon on their property, say they were trying to get the animal help.
Yeah, Cheryl Bartone of Bartone's Pizza says that they found the baby raccoon abandoned in the woods and started feeding and housing the raccoon outside of the restaurant. She tells Channel 3 the raccoon never came inside the restaurant until state environmental officials came to investigate an anonymous tip. And she says she now wishes that she handled the situation differently.
I am sorry. I know what I did was wrong now, and I'm sorry. But she wasn't in this restaurant.
The animal will be cared for by a wildlife expert and then released. So if you ever find yourself in this situation, you find an animal that appears to be injured or sick, they don't want you to take care of it yourself. Make sure you call your local animal control for help.